Okay, here we go. So this is for the people who are not here. There's several people. All right, Simon is not here. All right, what?
Could you do 22 and 24?
I will try. What is wrong with that one? The first thing you should be able to do is you should be able to just say that's x plus 2 squared plus y minus 12 squared equals r squared, right?
Right.
Now, how do I know this radius is 3? Oh, sorry. I don't know why that's here. Thank you. How do I know that the radius is 3? Tell me.
Because of the tangent of x at -5.
Right.
Since you know that that's like a horizontal line and that the center's on -2, you can just count the distance from -2.
Exactly. The only thing you said wrong was it's vertical. Not that it's a big deal, but you know what I mean? All right, x equals -5 is a vertical line. All right, now again, we should all know that. All right, so let's say for some crazy reason that was too hard for you. All right, the main thing is I always try to tell kids, especially for circles, if you just draw things out. Now notice I'm not drawing for accuracy. I'm just saying I know -2, 12 is like right there. Does everybody agree with that? Notice I didn't mark out 1, 2, and then go 12. All right. Then I knew that x equals -5 is a vertical line. Right? So if it's tangent, that's what that means, just like that. So now you should be able to see clearer this distance then from here to here. That should be easy to understand now, though it's 3. Does everybody see how easy that actually is? Right, super easy. All right, and again, I people all the time have a lot of trouble with this. All right, and I always say it's easy just to draw it out, sketch it out. It's much easier to see. So the radius we know is 3, so then it's just equal to what?
9.
It's equal to 9. All right. Now, I'm not sure, again, what's wrong with this. All right. So again, just drawing something out. And the center's in the 4th quadrant. So I don't have any idea. I'm just going to put right there. Or that's the 3rd quadrant. 4th quadrant is over here. All right. So now I have, again, we know this is x equals 7. And this is x equals 17. And it seems to me, if it's tangent, then it would have to be what? Right in the middle. Is everybody understanding that? Right? So that's what I would draw. And then tangent to y equals -4. So if it's tangent to y equals -4, now here I do have a little bit of a problem because y equals -4. Could this be y equals -4? And then someone tell me why or why not. Come on, someone. Shh, shh, shh. Tell me why. Yeah, but we can figure it out. Tell me how.
Oh, I was going to say, it also could be the top one might be -4.
Right, yeah. So it's either got to be the top or the bottom, right? I'm saying, wow, that I don't know if it's above or below, but then I realized I can easily tell. Whoa. I don't know what you mean. Shh. Yes, hear what she's saying now. So wait a minute now. Let's just let everybody soak that in. So the x coordinate of the center has to be what? 12, right? Because if it's tangent, then it has to be equidistant from those two lines. Everybody with me on this? So I know that this right here has an x coordinate. The x coordinate of the center is 12. All right, so now what does that tell me? The radius has to be 5. The radius has to be 5. That's exactly correct, guys. All right, so I think you might have to speak louder unless everybody says, okay, I understand that. Does everybody understand what she's saying? Okay, so again, how much is what's the radius, Sam? 5. So if the radius is 5, could this be -4? Could this line right here be -4? Sam doesn't know. What's the radius? Shh. The radius is 5. Correct? So if I'm 5 units away from -4, that means the center would have to be at 1. The y value would have to be 1. You understand that? Right? So that's how we know that -4 can't be below the circle. It has to be what? It has to be above the circle right here. Does everybody agree with that? So now, tell me what the y value is. How do I know that? Yes, so -4 goes here. All right, so that means I have to be 5 units down, which is -9. All right, so now what was my equation? Equals what? That's really, really good. If you knew that, you're in really, really good shape. Anybody have any issues? Tell me. Okay, well, hold on. Sam, are you okay with that now? I mean, some of you just sit there, and you're like, well, I kind of know. I don't want you to kind of know. All right, I have to do a better job explaining it if you don't know something. That's what I'm trying to tell some of you. All right, ask. All right, I really don't mind. I can draw it again. And I can draw why it's not true if you want me to. All right, visualizing things I think is the hardest thing in math. That's why sometimes when you get to the higher level, it's more difficult because you just have to accept things as true. All right, now we don't. You can draw this out, physically draw it out and see for yourself. If you can't see for yourself, you got to draw it. What? Anybody? What? What's the radius? All right. Anybody else with issues on 24? That's a great job. Great question. All right, now I'm ready. Mia, what? Let's look at 14. This right here? Okay, so now for me personally, we can draw this out. Right, so let's just go ahead and draw it out just because I think it's important. Now, again, watch, when I say draw it out, I'm not counting tick marks. I'm just saying -311 is up here, and 3, -13 is way down here. Do you agree with that? So if I were now to draw this roughly, it would look something like this. Do you agree? So if that's the end point of the diameter, where is the center located? Middle, but what's the middle called? The midpoint. That's what you should be saying. All right? The center is the midpoint of the endpoints of the diameter. Does everybody agree with that? Right? So the center would be located at 0, -1. All right? So I was off a little bit here. So let's fix this. 0, -1. All right, so now my center is located right there. There we have it. Okay, not anymore, you're not. Tell me what the first part of the equation is. Shh, no, I'm asking her. What's the equation? Good. Beautiful. Equals r squared, right? Now, there's two ways to do it. One way is just to say that this right here is the radius. Do you agree? And if I wanted to, I could just make that a right triangle and just say a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Do you agree with that? So if I know the center is 0, -1, from 0 to -3 is 3 units, right? And from -1 to 11 is 12 units. You agree with this? So then I could say 144 plus 9 is, oh, you're right. Don't worry, 153, right? But of course it's the square root of 153, but why did I write just 153? Because that's what that number is right there. X squared plus y plus 1 squared equals 153. Do you see that now? Now, easier way, in my opinion, is just to plug these numbers in for x and y. And that'll tell you what r squared is. Does that make sense now? So there's two ways there. Two ways of doing that. Yes, sir. That's what we did, believe it or not. Right? Because it's the midpoint formula, correct? All right, that's what we did. Harris.
I did try again with plugging the numbers, and I did the first one. So I got 11 squared, and then I added up to 131.
What are you talking about? How is it 11 squared? Please tell me. Shh.
Plug in the numbers.
Okay, so plug in the numbers. Shh, stop. I'm trying to talk to people, and you guys are interrupting. I want to hear it from them. Believe it or not, I'm teaching them. I'm not teaching them with you interrupting me, though. I'm trying to show him how to find his mistake. You see what I'm saying now, right? Easy. All right? I don't want people telling him what the answer is. Go.
How do you find out if that's zero?
Sam, it's in the middle, right? What is that called? No. The midpoint, we said. It's the midpoint.
Oh, yeah.
The center of the circle is the midpoint of the diameter, the endpoints of the diameter, right? Now, do you remember the midpoint formula?
Yeah.
So now you're good, right? Now, again, I'm trying to tell you, and I get frustrated sometimes because I want you to say, okay, I don't know, right? So when you forget something, I want you to be able to go back and say, okay, I know it's got to be, we can figure this out, right? It's in the middle. Middle is midpoint, all right? Middle means average, all right? So that's what we're doing. Okay, someone else now. Come on, these are good problems. Very good. 20. Now, again, this one you should be better at now because we just did the one before this. So write the problem. Write the perfect equals r squared, right? So they give us a point. What do you think I should do to that point? No? What should I do? Charlie, tell him. Come on, what should I do? Tell him, Reed. Just plug it in. Does everybody agree that's what we did back here on this problem right here, we said, right? Mia, do you remember that? We just plugged it in. Can you plot the point and do a squared plus b squared equals c squared? Yeah, I don't feel like doing that because what I'm trying to show you is, do you agree we're missing r? If I have an x and a y, I can find r. That's what this is, an x and a y. You agree with that now? So mental math that, please. Anybody else have one? One. So now I just come over here and erase r squared and just put what? 1. All right, somebody else. Circumference problem, number 18 was no problem. What? 18. So if the circumference is 2 pi over 15, the circumference of the circle is what? 2 pi r. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
So what's the radius? Come on now. You're just solving this equation for r.
Oh, the square root of 15.
Yeah, there you go. Visualizing it. That's what I'm telling you guys. I appreciate you not telling him. Let him think about it. All right, now you know the r is square root of 15, right?
Yeah.
So now what's the equation?
X minus 15 squared plus y minus 14 squared equals 15.
Yeah, look how, see what I'm saying? Now hopefully you understand what I'm saying. So easy, right? It's so simple. Once you understand the relationship between the points, the center, and the radius. Very, very simple. All right, someone else now, come on. You should understand most everything now because I think we went over all the different possibilities, but I'm happy to do another one. Yeah, that's right. R squared is 16. Do I even care what the radius is? No, because in the equation, it's R squared that I'm looking for. So that's a good observation. But again, most kids don't think of that. They just go R equals 4, and they plug it back in and get 16 and go, wow. All right, come on, guys. I'm pretty happy with that. Anybody else? Anybody? Nobody? On this rest of this worksheet, everybody feels good now. And again, do me a favor and go down and I hope you check your answers now. All right, I hope you checked them. All right. Now, I also want to say for our little, quiz or whatever on Friday, I don't even care, but I just think this section is super duper important. I have SAT questions for us today that we're going to work on. I think there's like 18, maybe 15. Tomorrow, I'm going to review the SAT questions. Now, I need everybody to understand something. I'm not having a traditional review tomorrow. The review is what? This worksheet and the SAT worksheet. Does everybody understand that? Right? So if you understand everything on this worksheet, you'll get a 75% on the test. And then there'll be another what? 25% or SAT questions. Everybody understanding me on that? Right? So I'm not reviewing this unless you have a specific question. Tomorrow, all right, or tonight, look over and make sure you understand everything. Because I'm not going to say, okay, go back to this worksheet. There's just going to be problems like this on the test. Everybody okay with that? All right, because I don't have time to do both. So now your job for today is to pull up the SAT worksheets. And again, I'm just trying to tell you, these are exact questions from the SAT and the ACT. All right, exact questions. Now, some of them are easy, some of them are a little bit harder, some of them are completing the square, those kinds of things. All right. So now I think it's a good idea. I will have time enough tomorrow to do 18 problems. Right? Is everybody with me? But I really want you guys to see how smart you are and go through them right now and try them on your own. All right. And are you allowed to sit next to each other and work together and talk about it? I think that's a grand idea also. All right. Does anybody have any questions? All right. And then tomorrow we'll go over all these things. Any issues? All right, guys. I appreciate it today. Very good. All right. Those were some tricky questions. Hopefully you got them under control.